And we are recording. Okay, so this is Wildcat Wine Club. This is our third episode. And the topic for today is really just to get to know our wine club officers. So, what we're going to do today is just kind of go round table, give everyone a chance to speak, and we're just going to casually chat and talk about wine. So, with that in mind, our first officer is Mackenzie Boyce. So, she's going to share with us a little bit about her background and what wine she has today.
Okay, guys, I'm Mackenzie. I am going into my senior year of the wine program at Central. I currently work at Cave B. It's a winery over in Quincy. It's a great job, really laid back, learning so much about their wines. And I don't want to be biased, but I've found a lot of my favorites there. Today I'm going to be drinking the Starborough Sauv Blanc from a can. I thought that was interesting. I found it on clearance at Fred Meyer. And normally I would just get the bottles, but it's kind of fun to have something easy to travel with and go around with. But yeah.
Awesome. So, you typically buy Starborough in the bottle. Now you have
Mhm.
the can. So,
Mhm.
when we come back around to you, you're going to give us maybe a little comparison between the two.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, next up is Carly. So, Carly, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you're drinking today.
Hi, well, I'm Carly, and this upcoming year will be actually my fifth year here at Central. I only have two more quarters left of the wine program, and then I'll be graduating winter 2020. So that is very exciting. And so for what I got for today is the Boda box. I usually also go for, the bottles, just like kind of everyone else. But, I was like, let's just try it. Let's try something different than the Franzia and see what other brands out there have to offer. So I picked up the Sauvignon Blanc. I'm a huge Sauvignon Blanc drinker, so I know that's always going to be reliable. So I'm excited to open this and try it. And it just really spoke to me because they really emphasized the freshness and how this product was going to stay fresh. And that's one concern when buying boxed wines. I'm like, is this going to stay good in my fridge? So that'll be interesting to see at the end of this month, or in a month.
Gotcha. All right. Next up is Tyler. So, Tyler, please go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you are drinking today.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm going into my senior year at Central, and today I am drinking a Shiraz from Trader Joe's. One thing that caught my eye was the labeling on it. It's definitely different, which I liked, and looking forward to drinking it.
Nice. One thing I'm going to chime in with real quick is that anyone who's viewing this might notice that we are working with a lot of different packaging. Standard wine comes in a 750 milliliter bottle like this. Um, and what everyone is working with today tends to either be out of a box or a can. And the reason for that is actually Tyler, who you just saw, conducted a little survey this summer as part of a research project he was doing that asked a lot of questions about alternative packaging and how popular is it, who gravitates towards it, what age group, what demographic. So it was his survey that actually inspired everyone to grab something a little different for this tasting. So I just wanted to put that out there. Next up, we have Curtis Condotta.
Hi, yeah, I'm Curtis. I just actually graduated from the wine program at Central. It was amazing. Was able to go to Spain and do all of that. It was great to be able to go out and see how other places in the world do wine and wineries and things like that. What I'm drinking today is our Provisions, not our, sorry, Provisions boxed wine. I really like the label because it has grapes on it and it kind of looks like old schooly a little bit.
Hmm.
But it's the dark red blend. And I think it's delicious. I always like to have a boxed wine in the house just in case you ever, are feeling for one glass of wine instead of opening an entire bottle. Having boxed wine is fantastic. And this one is particularly very yummy. Reminds me of cherries, and there's no usually when you kind of get a boxed wine, you get that hint of I don't know, harshness, and this is super smooth all the way through and pairs with a lot of really good foods.
Nice. One thing I will say is that all of our officers and anyone who's in our program has taken advanced entry and advanced sensory analysis classes. So these are all students that have been trained in wine tasting. So as they start to review these packages that are a little bit different, the box wines and the can wines, we're actually getting a professional analysis from these guys. So I think that is one thing to keep in mind too. So, Mackenzie, we are going to circle back to you, and why don't you tell us what you make of the Scarborough Sauvignon Blanc in a can versus how you usually purchase it in a bottle?
Yeah, so I have a bottle of it, but not with me, unfortunately. It's in Ellensburg. I'm in Seattle now, and I totally should have brought it and poured it in a glass and compared the two. But right away, what I notice is this definitely to me looks like a Chardonnay by the color. It is a darker yellow, whereas from the bottle, it is a lot more clear, and like a straw yellow. It doesn't look to me. To me, the yellow looks buttery. That's just how I view it as. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a sniff.
Mm-hmm.
So I do enjoy the aroma. I get a lot of the fruits, the guava, gooseberry, and the herbalness and the grassiness of it. But I do smell a little bit of the metallic kind of feel to it because
Yes.
it's obviously from a can.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had these cans for about a week, so I don't know if like maybe it's because it's been sitting for a while. I know it's probably been sitting on the shelf, so that could have something to do with it. But I've had it for a little bit, and I chilled it right before as well, so I just get a little bit of the metallic. But on the palate, it definitely tastes similar, but I do get the more metallic-y taste on the palate. It's not too bad though. I do enjoy it. It's crisp, it's light. I would have this with like a salad. Um, yeah, and it's light-bodied.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like your average Sauv Blanc, but from New Zealand, and I do really enjoy this brand. It's one of my favorites.
Nice. So let's recap a little bit. When you buy a standard bottle of Scarborough, what is the price that you usually pay for the actual bottle?
um, I believe it's around $12 to $13.
Okay, and that's 750 milliliters, standard
Mm-hmm.
bottle size. And then talk to us a little bit about the packaging for the can. How many cans did you get in total?
So it came in this. You get 2 cans in each, and it was on clearance, so it has this big clearance on it. So I got it for $7. So about 350 each before tax. But the labeling looks almost the same, just it's not clear to see the wine, but it has the ombre effect on the label, and then it has the star in it right here. But yeah, it's very, very alike, very interesting. I personally, I found it different how this was on the clearance, considering of how popular of a wine it is, and I've never seen it before. You think I'd see it first as like regular price and then later on the clearance rack, but I've never seen it besides on the clearance rack.
Gotcha. So definitely a price discount there because you managed to grab it on clearance, and
Mhm.
you noticed a little bit of a metallic residual flavor there.
Mhm.
Um, if you had the option of either one, do you think you would gravitate towards one or the other?
I would do the bottle, but if I were to be traveling or camping or going somewhere, I would probably get the cans because it's a lot easier
Hmm. And I
to
noticed you
use.
poured your can into a glass.
Yeah, I was gonna state that too.
Talk to us a
I
little bit about that choice. Hmm.
I did that to look at the color.
Okay.
Also,
Hmm.
maybe drinking it out of a can also might taste a little different. I probably aerated it a little more by pouring it out also.
Yeah.
But I could always just open another and see if it tastes the same. But yeah, I did that mainly for the color.
Gotcha. Yeah. Um, Fun. I know personally, I have a hard time sometimes drinking wine out of a can. I have a tendency to do the same thing. If I have the opportunity to pour it into a glass, I do enjoy that just a little bit
Yeah,
more. So it's
you get the
interesting.
elegant type feel of it also just by putting it in a
You
glass.
know what? I agree. I love the
Yeah.
aesthetics of a wine glass, so that's hard for me
Hmm.
to step away from.
Yeah.
So next up we have Carly. So Carly, go ahead and give us a rundown on your choice this week.
Yeah, so I got the Boda box. I believe it was around like $14, $15. So it was reasonably priced, and it says there's 4 750s in here, so 750 milliliter bottles.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a very good price point for kind of what you're getting. And why I reached for this box was mainly the packaging, because like I had stated earlier, if I were to drink a bottle of or drink wine at home, I would just open a bottle probably. But I kind of liked that they like showed these like different activities on here. So like going to the beach, picnic, let's see, biking, all this cool stuff on here. So it definitely is trying to kind of market more towards that adventure side, which is kind of like, I think why I would personally buy a boxed wine or a canned wine is more for that adventure feel, kind of like Kenzie was saying with camping. It's just easily more, or you can transport it easier. You don't have to worry about glass breaking, that type of thing. So, and then I did pour myself some, and I did find it interesting with Kenzie's and how it was that like gold color, that butter color, because yeah, it's reminded me of a Chardonnay too, but this one is a little bit clearer, and I did take a sip of it. I do enjoy the flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little acidic, but not too bad, not overpowering. I feel like it's fairly well balanced, and I don't get any other interferences like outside aromas or flavors, kind of, like Kenzie was getting with the can. I'm not getting anything like that from the bag or the bladder. But yeah, I find it to be very pleasant. I like the wine. I'd probably purchase it again, and I don't doubt that I'll probably be bringing one with me soon if I go somewhere hiking or something. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Nice. So we'll recap. So you like the versatility piece,
Yeah.
how versatile the packaging is, and also the marketing spoke to you, that they're
Hmm.
talking about how it's just easy to work with if you're doing outdoor activities, camping, hiking,
Yeah.
whatnot, and you don't get any kind of interference from the packaging. You don't get a metallic taste or anything like that. So it's a
No,
real
yeah.
clean.
Yeah, exactly. It's very clean, well balanced. It just seems like a very typical Sauv Blanc. I mean, nothing too special about it, but I still liked it. I think it's a great price for what it is. And oh yeah, another reason why I reached for it too is how it was saying it would stay fresh in our fridge for like 30 days, which was kind of the one thing I was worried about is, was the wine going to get oxidized, ruined, just because it was like sitting in my fridge for so long. So it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts.
Yeah. So you're going to do a little experiment there with freshness.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, see how it holds up after 30
Yeah.
days. Yeah. Okay. So Tyler, you are up next. So tell us what you got there.
Yeah, so for this tasting, I got a block red Shiraz from Trader Joe's. It's from Australia. Um, the design of the box itself is kind of what led me to it, but prior to this, I tried their sangria mix, which I loved. But for the wine itself, it's more of I'd say a deep ruby color. And on the nose, I'm getting a kind of like a blackberry currant, maybe
Ooh.
some cherry on that,
Mhm.
black cherry. And then on the palate, I'm getting definitely easygoing. Not too bold, not too light though. Kind of like a happy mix between the two. But I'm definitely tasting that black currant, blackberry kind of
Nice.
taste.
Would you call it jammy?
Yes, I'd go more jammy. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Nice. And so, Tyler, you are the one that has just conducted a survey.
Yes.
So, can you give us just a little bit of what you might have learned or taken away from your survey, just with regard to, actually, go ahead and speak to it. Yeah, what was your topic and
Yeah, so my
where did you
topic was how COVID-19 has affected wine consumer sales within the month of June 2020.
learn?
And looking at the results, my hypothesis was that people would be buying more and buying cheaper bottles.
Mhm.
But looking at the data, it kind of looks as if people are drinking the same amount that they have prior to June 2020. Uh, and they're kind of, from what I've seen, keeping to the same 750 milliliter format of bottle, which I thought
So
was interesting.
yeah, so we didn't really see in in the month of June. So your
Yeah,
survey was specific to the month of June. We didn't
yes.
see a lot of variation. We saw a lot of consistency with whatever they had been purchasing prior. They are still continuing to buy in June. And did you say consumption had stayed the same or did it go up a little bit in June?
Consumption has stayed the same from what the results showed.
Okay, I thought it had gone up a little bit, but
Yeah.
you would know. You've been looking at
Yeah.
those results. Okay, interesting. So Curtis, you are up next.
Yeah, so as I previously stated, I got the Provisions Dark Red Blend, and I always tend to go for red wine just because that's what I prefer.
Mhm.
And this one, I think there were two different ones. There was like red blend, and then there was dark red blend. So I wanted to see what the difference was. I didn't end up going and back and buying the other one, so I don't know what the difference is. But this one is it's like previously said, really smooth. Pairs well with a lot of food, which is why I really like it. I can just if I'm cooking dinner for myself, I can pour myself a glass and don't have to worry about finishing a whole bottle, and that kind of thing. Um, but as far as it tastes, again, just super smooth, and that's when I'm looking for a boxed wine, that's kind of what I want. I'm not expecting some sort of $80 bottle of wine, some sort of high quality. I just want something easy drinking that's gonna be it's gonna like I said, it's gonna pair well with the food that I'm making, and something that's really versatile like this one. It's just like a really dark cherry notes, some plum, a little bit of like chocolate finish. That's just really easy and it's very delicious. I recommend it.
Nice. So overall, so all of our officers here again have been trained in sensory analysis. So their professional conclusions are essentially that they would endorse these products for the most part. Is that pretty much the case across the board? Would any of you counter that, or would you say that you fully endorse box wine, canned wine, alternative packaging? Let's run through real quick and just give me kind of a your professional opinion. So Mackenzie, let's start with you. Do you endorse alternative packaging?
So I endorse alternative packaging mainly because it's easier to travel with, which I think is the main idea they're trying to get across. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's great for cans because, everyone will have a can of beer and a can of pop, but, I've never seen a can of wine personally. And then for boxes, you can pour as much as you want. So it's just, and you don't, and like Curtis said, you don't have to worry about finishing a bottle. So I think it's very versatile, and I would definitely do it more often, especially for traveling if you do travel more.
Nice. Carly, you want to chime in with your opinion on this?
Yeah, I also agree. I think, it's definitely like situational. Like, if I was at home, I'd personally rather just open a bottle and share it amongst friends or something. But if I am on the go, like hiking, traveling, camping, I don't know what else, everything under the sun, I think this would be great. I've definitely become more of a believer in them because I definitely was a little bit of a snob before, I'm not gonna lie. But I've definitely changed my opinion on it, and I would like to try more in the future. So yeah.
Nice, good. Tyler, go ahead and give us your opinion on alternative formats. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely believe or agree with Mackenzie and Carly. I think alternative formatting gets like bad rep,
Mm-hmm.
especially boxes, but it's definitely more versatile. You can go anywhere with it, and from my understanding, it has less of a ecological impact than glass,
Mm-hmm.
less of a carbon footprint.
Yeah, yeah, that is true, for sure. Curtis, do you want to chime in with your professional opinion here?
Yeah, I've said previously, I just love having a box wine in the house because like it keeps for up to probably 30-ish days, if not even longer than that. I've probably had this couple months now, and it's still tasting really good because it is vacuum sealed, so the wine doesn't get spoiled by the oxygen.
Yep.
And then one of my favorite things is to grab a if you're going on a picnic or going to the beach or whatever, you can just grab a can of rosé off at Safeway on your way there, and then you just don't have to worry about anything else. Again, not finishing the bottle, and you kind of fit in with the whole crowd of having a can. I think personally, rosé is the perfect the perfect wine to fit in a can, just because it's kind of that easy drinking summer. That's kind of what what you're looking for. And I've had some really good sparkling rosés. Like the House Sparkling Rosé
Uh-huh.
in a can is delicious on 90-degree heat in Ellensburg. So
Gotcha. So it sounds like our overall consensus here with our Wildcat Wine Club is we do endorse alternative packaging. It's situational, and we appreciate the versatility of having a little break from the standard glass and cork.
mhm.
So that was good to analyze. Now we're just going to kind of go around and we're going to get to know our officers a little bit more. So we're going to run through that same lineup, and I want you guys to tell me how is quarantine treating you? And what, if any, wine purchases have you made in quarantine? What kind of habits have they been affected? Your overall wine consumption. So, Mackenzie, we'll start with you and let us know what quarantine has, how it has potentially changed your consumption habits.
So for quarantine, I'd say right before June, right before the beginning of June, my wine consumption actually went down quite a bit because I was jobless. So my money had to go towards other things. I didn't have that extra money for a bottle of wine every once in a while. So I mean, yeah, I'd have like a bottle a month, but I wasn't I used to do like maybe a bottle a week or for a special occasion, and I couldn't really do that until I got a job, and I did in June. So I kind of replenished and I'm back to normal. But during the whole quarantine situation, I didn't really buy much.
All right. Carly, talk to us about your quarantine experience.
Yeah. Okay. So I hate to go backpedal, but I did want to add in for alternative packaging a con.
Okay.
I think alternative packaging is overpriced, like way overpriced. And I think that's one con that I would have to say, and not necessarily the boxed wines, but the cans themselves and even the Tetra Paks. I think those are really overpriced. But other than that, it's great. Okay, now back to the current question. My quarantine's actually, it's been okay. I'm kind of a homebody, so I haven't minded it too much. I might get to spend time with some friends and, my dog. So that's been really nice. But for my wine drinking habits, I'm kind of the same with Kenzie. I probably will drink, 1 to 2 bottles a month now, because the same thing, I was out without a job for quite a few months actually. And then I did end up getting a job also at Cave B, which has been great, which it's a great environment. And so with having that more of that spending money, I've definitely been able to splurge on my wines, buy a little bit more of expensive wines or ones that I've been eyeing for a while. And I'll probably drink between, 1 to 2 to 3 every like week or two. Between me and my roommates, we kind of all just share. And so, yeah.
Do you have a favorite Cave B wine right now that you're enjoying?
Let's see. That's really, really hard.
Sorry.
I know. Yeah. So, let's see. I really like our dry rosé. I know Kenzie will agree on this. The Shannon is amazing. It's our
Number
baby.
one.
Yeah, it's really good. Their 2018 actually won Best in Pacific Northwest for the white
Oh, I
wine.
thought it was the 2019. I could be wrong, but
maybe it was. It was one of the two.
Both were great.
Yeah, both are really good. I also like their Sauv Blanc. But I guess if I were to have to pick one wine, it'd probably be their dry rosé. I'm not a big rosé drinker, but I think it's phenomenal. I think it's so good. And maybe because I'm a little biased, but yeah, it's really good stuff. So check out Cave B.
Wow, we'll have to do another Wildcat episode where you guys all get to just like represent your favorite stuff, represent the wineries that you guys work for and show us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So to be continued. We will revisit that topic. Coming on down the line here, Tyler, talk to us about your quarantine experience with wine.
I feel like at the beginning when quarantine was put into place, my wine consumption went up quite a bit. But since like the phases have started, I feel like it's gone down.
Okay.
Since I've been able to actually get out and do stuff versus be stuck in the house all day. So I'd say for the month of June, it's decreased.
Okay. Kind of leveled out, would you say?
Yeah, kind of plateaued.
Kind of plateaued a little bit. And then do you have a go-to? Is there anything that you discovered in the last few months that is your go-to wine choice?
I mean, Starborough's always my go-to. It's just easy to drink. It's good cold, especially in summer months. It's even better.
Yep.
So I'm gonna stick with Starborough. I haven't
Starburst.
tried their canned though. Their canned wine.
Okay. Awesome. That's two of you guys endorsing it. So that's like some good takeaway right there from this session. Starborough Sauvignon Blanc, big hit
Yes.
with CW
Huge hit.
Wine Studies. Yeah, Carly as well, chiming in. Curtis, go ahead and talk to us about your quarantine experience.
Yeah, so I've probably been drinking a lot more than I should be. Just because if I have nowhere to go, there's no reason, there's no reason to have a glass of wine every night or a couple more than that while you're cooking and then finishing off. But I recently got a job as the tasting room manager over at a Patterson Cellars in Woodinville. So I've been having a lot of their wine, trying to familiarize myself with it. And what I've been really liking right now is the sparkling rosé of Pinot Noir.
Ooh.
So usually a lot of sparklings, or the common sparkling is a combination of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, but we make a 100% Chardonnay and a 100% Pinot Noir as a rosé, and it's delicious. Especially when it's like 80 degrees outside, you get some bubbles going, and it's a little bit fruitier than your typical sparkling, so it's really good. And then my one that really surprised me was the rosé of Cab Franc, because Cab Franc is typically a red grape, and I've had a couple of rosés of Cab Franc, and they're always kind of um, they leave like a little film in my mouth, is kind of how I want to put it. It's really like it leaves a weird aftertaste, but this one is super crisp, super nice, and I call it a porch pounder. Whenever I'm serving it to people, I'm like, enjoy this as quickly as possible because it'll be gone.
So it's limited production then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Um, okay, so kind of just recapping a little bit, we have a lot of fun selections here from you guys. Definitely Starborough Sauvignon Blanc again keeps coming up, so that's a good choice. And then to really kind of close out our session, why don't we run through and you guys just tell us a little something fun about yourselves. Maybe start with your actual position in our wine club because I don't feel like we actually talked about that. So let's run through our lineup again. Tell us your position in the wine club and then a fun fact. It can be about yourself or it can be about the wine program or about, yeah, just a fun fact. So Kenzie, we'll start with you.
Um, I am one of the co-presidents with Carly, and I am 6 feet and 1 inch. That's the best fun fact I can come up with at this moment.
Awesome. Carly, would you like to go ahead and chime in?
Yes, so like Mackenzie said, we are co-presidents, and then a fun fact about me is I have a dog. I can call him in here really quick.
Sure,
Okay,
let's see him.
okay, let me grab him. Oi! Maybe not. Oh, here he is. So this is my dog, Oli. He's my best friend. He's about to turn 3 in August, so he's going to be 21. Legal drinking age. But yeah, so this is probably my fun fact is my dog. He's a Cocker Spaniel, and he's the sweetest.
He looks
Sweetest boy.
I love his bandana. He's a very handsome boy.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Tyler, go ahead and jump in and tell us a fun fact about you.
Yeah, so I am treasurer of the club, and one fun fact, my favorite animal is the flamingo.
Ooh, any particular reason the flamingo?
They're just weird, their legs are weird,
Yeah,
just an all-around different kind of animal.
just intriguing. It just got
Yeah.
nice.
I heard that your favorite animal represents who you think of yourself as. So
Oh,
like
it's
mine's a
pretty
giraffe. Mine's a giraffe. So and I'm tall, so that makes
Yeah,
sense. And I
fun
found that
fact.
out after, but
You have to ponder that a little bit, Tyler. Where what you
I don't
make
know where that translates to me, but
yeah. Curtis, go ahead and give us your fun fact. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm the senator of the wine club. And my fun fact is, as much as I am much more of a red wine drinker, I don't actually like Syrah that much. I have had a hard time finding a Syrah that I really enjoy. Some of them are like, nah, yeah, I'll drink it, but I would choose anything else other than that. So I'm really trying to taste a lot more Syrahs to get myself to enjoy it more because
Interesting.
it is very popular.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain a little bit on that. So when you say Syrah, what about Rhone blends?
Yeah,
Like,
so I was gonna go there next. I'm
Syrah.
also not a huge fan of like GSM, so Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre
Yeah.
blends, but I love the Grenache and Mourvedre by themselves. So I don't know. I think it's just the Syrah. So those blends I'm not a huge fan of. It's just like a little too jammy and not enough like punch. I don't know. When I'm drinking red wine, I want like the dark red blend or a Cab Sauv or a Cab Franc, something a little bit, I don't know, heavier maybe. Whereas I don't know. I know Syrah is also really heavy. I have a hard time tasting Syrah as well. Like when I taste it, I don't think I can get the right notes off of it, and so maybe that's why I lean to not actually have it that much. But as someone getting into wine, I do have to kind of not force myself to drink it more as to get familiarize myself more with the varietal. So
Yeah, certainly. So what is your favorite then? If Syrah is not on your list, what do you gravitate towards? You said reds. Is there any particular varietal?
yeah,
Is it Cab?
so Sangiovese for sure.
Oh, that's
And then Super Tuscans
mm,
specifically. So Cab Sauv and Sangio mixes. If you
yep.
get a Super Tuscan from Italy, it's like a 50-50 split of Cab Sauv and Sangio, and they're just delicious. Every time I go to an Italian restaurant, I always ask if they have any Super Tuscans because they're like Cab Sauv and Sangio together is just a match made in heaven for sure.
So next question for you. Have you ventured out to Colsolari on Red Mountain?
I No, but I'm trying to think if I've had their wine before. I may have had like a glass of it somewhere,
Mhm.
but no, I haven't been out there.
Okay, that makes me immediately want to steer you towards Colsolari. They specialize in Super Tuscan. They're
Mm.
affiliated with Chateau San Michele. It's a joint project between Chateau San Michele and the Antinori family of Italy. So that's exactly what they're putting
Cool.
in.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go check it out.
Yeah, you have to report back to us what you think of their products. I think
Will
they're
do.
fantastic. I'm a big fan. I mean, Red Mountain,
Yeah, can't really
the
go wrong with Red
Antinori
Mountain.
family, all the Chateau San Michele pieces that go into it. It's hard to go wrong.
Hmm.
Um, All right, you guys. So that's actually going to wrap up our get to know you session today, and we're going to close it out right here. And I'll ask our officers to just stay on for a little bit longer, but we're going to end our recording.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.